Hello everyone, Ruby Retrograde Tarot Ente here, and what I will be talking about today is spring! Woo! It's finally here. Technically it was there since Sunday, but I'm doing this on a Wednesday, technically Thursday morning. Why? Because life, basically. I was not able to do this video on the weekend like I hopefully wanted to do originally, but that's okay. I'm doing it now. Hopefully, I'll be able to post it in the next coming days. Hopefully, Thursday. If not, then you know what happened. I was not able to do it on time. But in any case, I wanted to talk about spring and decks that I'll be using to kind of mark the season. For me, it felt like quite the long winter. It was really cold here this winter. There was lots of snow. We had a bunch of snowbanks, which made cleaning snow off your car so much fun. Luckily, I can say I wasn't cold or I didn't get sick too much, but I'm just ready. I'm ready for summer. Truthfully, like summer is my season, but spring tells me that summer is coming soon. So, a lot of people, whether you're yourself, tarot tubers, or people that I talk to in my tarot related groups, they like to have some tarots that they use specifically for the season, whether for spring or for Ostara, that's, kind of coincide around Easter and things like that. And I thought that I would kind of do that exercise myself where I would go through my collection of decks that I have right now and see what which one among them I associate with spring or makes me think of spring. The plants starting to grow again, the grass getting greener. If you like to garden, whether it be flowers or fruits and veggies and things like that, starting up your seeds. Well, probably if you're good, you probably started way earlier than I will be starting them, but that's besides the point. And so there's a few decks that I'll be working with for the season. So I'll start with what I'm using currently. I have two decks that I'm using currently. I started using them right on the 20th on Sunday. Just one I use as kind of a daily pull, a card of the day, and the other one I use it kind of an oracle type thing because it's kind of how I see it most. But I also have other decks that maybe I'll put on rotation. I don't know yet. But I'll start with what I'm using right now. So the first one, the deck that I use as a card of the day, it is the New Choice Tarot de Marseille, the second edition. This deck is created by Rosario Salerno. So this is a Marseille deck, and the reason why I decided to use this deck, first off, it's because of a little bit of a play on word, which works better in French than in English. But anyways, March in French is Mars, and Mars is in Marseille, so therefore use a Marseille deck. Woo, how ingenious. And so this deck here, I found out of all my Marseille deck, I found that this one is the most spring-like. I could argue for even a summer look, because as you can see for the cards, they're definitely wearing some spring summer attire, and I find the bright colors and just the explosions of flowers in the minors is what kind of gives me that the sun coming up, and no more we're going to be able to wear thinner and thinner coats until we can wear just a sweater, and we can wear long sleeve and then short sleeve, and then woo, it's summer. So as you can see, I really like this Two of Pentacles, but that is the first one. So I use this one as my card of the day, and at the same time it helps me to kind of refresh my Marseille, because it's been a while since I've used a Marseille deck. I've kind of gone into more mainly RWS, Rider-Waite-Smith. But I started my very first deck was a Marseille, so I want to go back and kind of refresh my memory type of thing. So as you can see, they're fun. It's just fun, and I really like this version of Marseille. It's not so traditional, and really the way the flowers are drawn, that's what made me fall in love with it. But I've spoken about that card before, so that deck, sorry, before, so it's not as if it's news as to why I like it. And of course, shiny edge, coppery edge. I think that it's one of my favorite edge colors. So that's what I'm using currently. The second deck I'm using, this one I'm using more as an oracle. It is the Harmony Tarot, which is created by Harmony Nice. Why am I using this as an oracle more than an actual tarot deck? It's because the structure, it doesn't follow like either the Rider-Waite-Smith or Marseille or even Thoth, that I don't know anything about personally, because I haven't learned the system. I don't really want to learn it, at least for now. And so when I got this, it totally gave me this really soft, calm feel, and it totally gave me like this little warmth going on here. As you can see, the minors, they kind of go by season. So right now this is we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. But overall, just the drawings, I don't know, it gave me this nice springy breeze, even for things like the ghost. Maybe because it's I don't know exactly what technique they use, whether it was like watercolors or I don't know, just this soft pencil or even digital drawing. But it's just as you can see, there's also lots of flowers present, especially with the minors. So that's what gave me the spring vibes. And I found that if I think of this deck as an oracle more than trying to fit into some sort of tarot or try to fit it, does it match a Rider-Waite-Smith or does it match a Marseille, I didn't feel as stressed, if I can call it that, to learn it, or it didn't frustrate me as much. When it kind of clicked in my head when I thought, let me use it as an oracle. And then it's as if my brain was like, oh, yes, oracle. Okay, we can work with that. Because I was trying to, I guess, use it like I usually do with a tarot deck. And I don't know, I was getting frustrated and I didn't want to get to the point where I didn't like it or have a negative perception of it. So I'm not going to go through the whole deck, but it's just to give it a look. And also, it's the other thing also that can be a little bit difficult here. I'm going to put the 3 here. If you look real quickly, you might get a little bit mixed up as to which number is it. Here you have 7, 5, and 10. So you kind of have to count the little flowers there. But if you're looking at it real quickly, you might be thinking, oh, this is I don't know, like even the 5, like, oh, this is 5, but meanwhile, well, this is 5 and this is 7, or this is 7 and it's 5. But you know what I mean. My words are getting mixed up. So this is what I'm using currently. And this one, because I kind of use it as an oracle, I draw this one maybe once a week. Well, at least once a week. It's maybe more often. And this is kind of like an overall energy, an energy to think about for the week. So, I'll just shuffle whatever card comes out, and this kind of carries me for the week. There might be times where during the weeks I feel like pulling another card or switch it out, but most of the time it's every week I'll pull that one. So that is my other card being used, the Harmony Tarot by Harmony Nice. Now, of course, speaking of spring, we think of Stara, and what other deck is best than the Austera Tarot. That is a collab deck. I do not have many collab decks because I'm not really a fan of collab decks. And yet I have this one and I have another one. Right now? Well, I know there's at least one that's coming my way. So so much for me saying I don't really like collab deck, but this one, I happen to have gotten it, found it secondhand, so that's why I got it. And the other one that's coming my way, well, I fell into the hype. What do you want me to say? So this collab deck, the Austera Tarot, and of course, I know a lot of people are very much against decks being split into a box, and I understand why. When I first heard about people having such strong opinions about it, I was like, well, a box is a box is a box. What does it matter? And then I realized when having to split a deck in almost an equal fashion so that it doesn't bug your brain, I get it now. I get the frustration. But in any case, this deck is made by 4 people. So it is Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Krista Gibbard, and Julia Iredale. And there was something, let me just hear it. I was holding the cards, and now I'm just going to put it on the table. There's something about the cards that kind of, I don't know, grabbed my attention that I really like about it. This one, as you can see, it's a little bit glossy, so you're gonna have the ring light going on here. For this one, I don't know, there's this kind of a intuitive spark that happens every time I use it. I really liked this sun card. When I saw it, I was like, oh yes. And this is one of the decks where I would say I'm fond of that devil card. And also, I think this is the first deck where I really liked the Tower card. By that I mean I actually had an opinion where oh wow, I really like it, as opposed to yeah, okay, Tower deck, moving on. So the four artists there, I believe, if I remember correctly, each had a particular minor that they were creating, and then they split the major among the 4 of them. So as you go, and oh yes, that Judgment card, that I think it's maybe top 5. Yeah, top 5, top 3. This deck would be the straight to the chase truth deck, and I say that because I had done a deck interview with it. And yeah, the cards that I got was kind of really pointed towards, if you want the truth, this is the deck for you type of thing. And so yeah, and obviously because it's the name literally is Austera Tarot, why would you not be using it around spring in this season? And even as you can see the back of the cards, it has colors that can make you think of spring. It's a greenish colors. We got our flowers there. Even for the cards with different artists, there's a certain each flare gives you a certain impression. And even through the cards, I would say for me, this to me with the ivy, all spring, I really like ivy. This I like, and I think this is what this deck, because I'm normally not a fan of collab decks, this is kind of what the one that kind of make me go, you know what, there can be exception, and you're the exception, and I like it. But anyways, that is the Austera Tarot. I don't know if I can find the tower. Let me see if I can find it. You know what? Watch that it's at almost at the end of the deck with my luck. I will say with one thing that I have. Oh, there it is. One thing sometimes that happens to me, I have to be careful. I believe the 10 of wands, and I think the 10 of swords, sometimes I tend to mix up. I don't know why. No, I know that they're different, it's different animals, but every time if it happens to fall and I see it in my spread, for some reason I switch the 2. Go figure out why. But here's that tower card where I was like, wow, I really like. So that is Austera Tarot. Now, the next deck that for me, let me just put that back real quick while I'm talking to y'all. The next deck that to me says spring, you know, like yeah, it's spring, but at the same time, in my head, I also put it as a it's a weird analogy, but all season tire all season tires deck. It's called the Golden Wheel, the Tarot of the Golden Wheel, and that is by Mila Losenko. I really like the illustrations on that card. The drawings are really pretty and beautiful. It's kind of, you know, as you can see, it has this I don't want to mess up my geography, but it's like this European you know, European flair. The minors, I believe, for each suit of the minors, it's different seasons that are associated with it. Oh, and yes, and this deck is one of the deck that I read with reverse, so there will be some cards that are reversed. So, for example, I believe Wands is more summer, if I remember correctly. I would have to double check, but you can see here just the Emperor. I like that Emperor. And then here, Cups, I believe it's a little bit more springy than anything else. You have the Hierophant. And when I think how many months ago when this deck was in my rotation, I had fun using it. Just all the images are so very inspirational. Let's use that word, inspirational. And that moon, just even with the little design and the patterns there, it's so cool. Yeah, and this Queen of Sword, I mean, like, this Queen of Sword is ready. She will take no prisoner. That, I love her. That, I don't know, top 10 easily. And then here we have Six of Cups and that Judgment. Look how super cool she is. Let me try and, oh, camera, be nice to me. Look, her garb, her headdress, just so nice. So nice. So that is another spring. And really, because I think I do remember the sword suit being more wintry. And you have the wands that are more definitely fiery. So summary, this Empress card, I remember seeing her the first time and I was like, oh my gosh, the dress, I want it. All these color combination as a dress, I want. And so yeah, that's pretty much how I see things in the world here. So yes, so although here this is a Four of Swords, this is a bad example while I was talking about how the sword is a little bit more wintry, and clearly this deck decided to just make me look like a fool. But in any case, to me, this is not only spring, but it's also a little bit of every season. But for spring, I could see myself using this deck. That is the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. One more. Oh, see, there's the wintry looking sword. Okay. Now another deck that I would consider as springy. It's not a tarot deck, although the creator said that it could be used as tarot, but really it's more of an oracle card. Yeah, an oracle deck more than anything. That is actually, let me pull out the box. Here you go. Cosmic Visions or Oracle. The beautiful, beautiful box. Okay. And that's illustrated by James R. Eads. This one I picked up when it was on Kickstarter. Let's put away the booklet. And so it's still in order because I'm going through it and I'm going through each card one by one and reading the booklet. So that's why you're still going to see it in order. The reason why, to me, I felt like using this deck during springtime, Of course, the back card, I think that it was like the back of the card, the design, the green of it, kind of attracted my eye while I was looking for something fresh, not as gloomy or cold, because I'm like I mentioned, I'm done with the cold. I want something warmer. I'm ready. And so this, as you can see, it doesn't necessarily look like it'll be a springy deck, but at the same time, I was thinking, yes, spring is about, all this growth and, the sun, the days getting longer, sun shining brighter. But if you kind of think a little bit out there, think of all the seeds that, fell in the earth the previous year, like during fall and summer, and they sat in the dirt or underneath leaves and snow, and they were kind of all in the dark during that whole winter time. And now spring, it's starting to warm up, and there's all this percolation for the magic to happen and the seeds to start growing and sprouting leaves and then flowers and fruits or whatever else it's supposed to be. And so this kind of made me think, because there's kind of a darkness, especially at the beginning with the what they call the death card. It's kind of like this darkness with this little spark. And as the seed does its thing and starts pushing out leaves from the dirt, it kind of pops out to then be fed by the sun and things. And if now I'm trying to remember from memory, but I believe in the book James mentions about how the majors, with majors, it's not necessarily a tarot, but this first part here, it kind of does, I believe it's as if it was doing the majors of the tarot, of a tarot deck, but in reverse, meaning death would be kind of going from the end to go, wait, am I saying this right? Going from the end to go to the beginning. So instead of going from small to big, it's starting from big to go back to small type of thing. Now I feel like I have to reread this because I don't necessarily remember. And this is the unnumbered card. And then as you can see, and just like the other decks in the series, so you have Prisma and, what's the other one? Prisma Vision and the other one. So they're minors. When you lay them side by side, it gives you this really nice panoramic. So I don't have the space to lay them all out, but here I can lay at least the first three like this. So you can see it gives you a nice panoramic here, which I think is really cool. I think it was with his deck that it was the first time that I heard of this concept, and when I saw it, I thought it was the best idea ever. So let's just follow the story here with the Ember suit. Oh, I need to stop flipping the cards. So see. So as you can see, as you get along, you see more and more of what's happening. The 7 Ember, look at this bird going out. So that is why this makes it into my list of springy decks. The Cosmovision, the Oracle deck. So let me put this away. And I will talk about, let me see. I have one more, and this one is more of a, I call it an honorable mention, because I'm ambivalent. I'm not too sure if I want to use it for spring or maybe later on. It's the, let me show it to you guys. I have it in this lovely pouch, but in the pouch it's also in just a plain box. This deck I got from someone secondhand, who ended up getting another copy because this one had defects, but I didn't mind the cosmetic defects, because sometimes I'm kind of hard when shuffling. So if something is already dinged, I don't feel as bad if I ding it, because my shuffling is sometimes a bit more rough than I remember to do it. So this here is the Botanical Tarot. It is by Bees. And the reason why I was thinking of this to use for spring is because, I mean, the botanical plants. And when do plants usually start growing? Well, you know, spring. But here, you know, it's not as if necessarily you have budding plants and flowers and things like that. These are in full bloom. And the reason why I'm not too sure whether I would end up using it this spring or later on is because of that, because it's all full bloom, and it makes me feel like, you know, I want to use this deck when flowers are in full bloom, which is more, you know, summer, fall, depending on the plant. But also because, as you can see, the background is all black, so all the flowers look very contrasted because of the black background. There's nothing but the plant, and so, you know, the black kind of makes me think more winter, more fall, even a bit more, yeah, more dark. It's not, it doesn't feel uplifting. I mean, for spring, I feel myself having a bit more pep in my step. You know, I feel a bit more energized, and this because it's so dark, it's so stark in a sense. It kind of makes me want to pause, like, or slow down. You know what? Maybe if I feel like doing something like a serious spread, or maybe even a shadow works type of spread, maybe I could turn to this during the spring. But I'm not planning as of now. I didn't plan for it, and I'm not planning as of now to do any sort of shadow work. And really, out of all the seasons, I wouldn't do it in spring, personally. So, but you know, it's plants. So I'm getting pulled towards using it because plants, but then it's dark and I'm like, ugh, I don't want dark anymore. I just spent 6 months, 12 months in dark. Okay, it wasn't 12 months in dark, but y'all know what I mean. Okay, when you're done of winter, like winter lasts 6 months over here and it feels like 17 months. So, but here we go, have some more cards of Botanica. And as you can see, like, it's the cosmetic defects are kind of the little white scratches over here, and so, you know, it doesn't bother me as much. I mean, if it really bothers me, I could go with a black Sharpie and cover it up. Maybe I could just mod it straight up and put an actual border around it, you know, to try to either match the gilding here, which is gold, maybe another color. Well, I don't think I would do another color because then it would really be jarring. But in any case, this is the Botanical deck. And so, with that being said, here we have it. All the decks of my collection that I consider springy decks that I am currently using or will be thinking of using for spring. So to me, spring is from I follow it from, you know, March until about to June. I more or less follow the equinoxes. Sometimes I kind of go maybe a little bit into the previous or following month, depending how I feel. So we have the Botanica, Cosma Vision, Tarot of the Golden Wheel, of course, Ostara, and we have Harmony Tarot, and then last but not least, well, it's not really in order, but New Choice, Tarot Marseille. So these are my selection out of my collection. So I want to hear from you guys, and I want to read from you guys. What are your decks that you like to use, you know, most often in the spring? Do you have, you know, exclusively spring decks, or decks that you like to use more in spring, or, you know, or do you just use anything, whatever you don't mind? Let me know in the comment section below. Boop, boop, boop. And until next time, thank you for sitting and taking whatever hot drinks you have at the time and spending some time with me. And until next time, bye bye, guys.